Today I wanted to talk about an adjacent topic to the video topics I've been talking about in the videos prior, but I want to go in a different direction. I've been looking at more of the videos that people tend to make about these topics, about letting go, about accepting yourself, about finding inner peace and all these things. But there's something fundamentally lacking, and that's the creative element. And the reason that's fundamentally lacking, I think, or I'm not necessarily certain what the reason is, but I'll tell you why the creative element is a necessary one. You see, the topic of these videos is addressed to people that, or at least these videos are addressed to people who are feeling disintegrative emotions, who are facing perhaps anxiety, doubt, fear, dissatisfaction, insecurity, inferiority in relation to themselves, all of these things. In whatever experience they're having in life, whether that be in their vocation, their academics, their relationships, their friendships, and any and all these things. And the aim of typical of these sorts of videos is to help the person overcome these emotions, or to psychoanalyze, understand, to reach this equilibrium again. But you know, that's not really the aim. That's not the aim of the things that you're going through. The aim of the negative and disintegrative emotions you're going through is for higher integration. You have to go down in order to go up. A forest burns down, and in its place, a larger forest grows. Nietzsche said that in order to build a new temple, you must first destroy the first one. And so the disintegrative emotions, they are the destruction of the present you. And in its place, something new will take form. Something new will take shape. Something authentically, autonomously chosen. Something self-chosen. In essence, what I'm saying is that disintegration is positive. That these neuroses, and that's one term for them, they're positive. Right? And if anyone's read Kazimierz Dabrowski, Psychoneuroses and Modern Illness, or The Theory of Positive Disintegration, you know what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of this sort of disintegrative idea, these disintegrative emotions, they're faced by a type of person that is known as the neurotic. And the neurotic is someone that, overly thinks too much about reality. His or her mind goes this way and that way. They wander, right? They are extremely sensitive to reality. They experience things intensely. Their zeros are very, very, very deep, and their hundreds are incredibly high. It's almost as if they're oscillating on some sort of spiral, some sort of manic depressiveness, right? But that's not any and all of these mental disorders that people will say ADHD or manic depressive or bipolar, all these things, those aren't illnesses. They aren't illnesses. There's nothing actually wrong with the mind. It's just creativity looking for an outlet. And so here's the central idea of this video, that your disintegration is the opportunity for a bridge. That your death is the opportunity for new life. In Nietzschean philosophy, there is something called the abyss. It's the idea of nihilism, the idea that life is meaningless, that everything is misery and death, and that at the end of our lives, nothing awaits us, and that everything is this tragic fate of coincidences, and that the meaning that we place into things is ultimately arbitrary. And one could say that the disintegrative emotions are really just this reality, that all of our life is falling apart, that we're falling in the abyss. And the person that experiences these emotions, their immediate reaction often is to run away from the abyss, to run away from the cliff. But that won't work. You can't evade it. Something inside of you is calling for expression. Something inside of you, there's a necessity there that you have to face. And if you don't face it now, you'll face it later in life. In all of your experiences, you're reliving something. Something is awaiting expression in you. Some lesson is waiting to be learned. A bridge is waiting to be constructed. And so this is the aim. This is the aim of the disintegrative phase. This is the aim of your depressive phase. It's the construction of a bridge over the abyss. You have to cross the abyss to make the bridge. And what does that mean? The abyss is the hole that is between two opposing ends. And in crossing the abyss, you unify two opposites. You see, the neurotic Yeah, his energy is everywhere. His mind is thinking about so many things, but really what's going on is that he's a fragmented soul. The duality between subject and object is painful for him. He is unable to unify himself. He is unable to unify his opposites. In Jungian terms, he's unable to unify his shadow, integrate himself. Right? But the thing is that if you aren't feeling the disintegrative emotions, there is no possibility for integration. And so don't think of that phase as something negative. That's the necessary phase. That's the most important phase. That's what leads to integration. That's what leads to crossing the abyss, creating the bridge. And so that's the main idea of this video. But there's something else I want to add here at the end, and this will be a shorter one. It's that when the person who embarks on facing the abyss and creating that bridge, and how do they create that bridge? You face the tension in your life. Whatever that tension is in you, whatever that thing in you that's creating the anxiety, the doubt, whatever it is, that has a cause, that has a root within you. And it's seeking some sort of reconciliation in something, in some way in your life. But you know what it is. You know what it is. You do. It's the thing you're most afraid of. So if you want to create your bridge, if you want the material to create your bridge with, look at where your deepest fear is housed. Take yourself into the stillest part of your mind. Take away all distractions, all noise, and sit there. Sit there in the feeling of death. And that's where you'll find the material to erect your bridge. And so what really is going on here? What are you really bridging? In my view, this neurotic, he has within him the potential to transform death into life. He's bridging the opposites of death and life. He is in the state of death, literally. Anxiety, fear, depression, all of these things. But he can transform those things into something immensely vital. He can unify himself. And part of my view is this, is that all artwork that has ever been created, especially in the modern era, has been through the unification of disintegrative emotions. It has occurred after the passage of a death. What does that mean? That means that the person who creates a bridge over the abyss, over their own abyss, the bridge they create is one that others can walk. In transforming their own death into life, they create something that can transform other people's death into life. So take heart, because your experience of death is an indication of the vital life that you have awaiting expression within you.